Danko on the normal radio. Free weed. Free weed. Oi, oi. Danny Danko come to show you how it grows. You're now tuned into the Free Weed by Danny Danko on normal radio. Presented by High Times Magazine. See me I say, boom bang. Big respect. See me I say, Danny Danko.
Oh, that's right. It's time for us to tune in with our good friend Danny Danko. Danny, how are you doing, my man?
I'm doing great. How are you, Russ?
I'm doing great. DJ Winstrong opening up with the Danny Danko Free Weed song, and the podcast is still going strong. How many episodes you guys up to now?
We've done 35 episodes, and the last one we just put out, I was really, truly honored to have Tommy Chong as a guest on the podcast. Tommy and his son Paris came on, so that was great.
Yeah, that's been running on replays here on 420 Radio, and I've been listening to it. It was a great interview. It's just so good to hear that family and what they've been through, and to make it through to the other side like this, and receive all the accolades. I mean, we just got back from the Bernadoubi Cup, and he got the Lifetime Achievement Award. So a lot of things happening there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely, and and I guess they asked me to appear on their podcast as well, the Chong and Chong Show. So at some point in the near future, I'll be on there as well, which should be fun.
Oh, yeah. Well, looking forward to that. Absolutely. Another thing we're looking forward to have a clumsy segue here, of course, is 420, and it's less than 30 days away. Oh, my God. The first Cannabis Cup in America. Are you psyched or what?
Yeah. I mean, I'm just, I'm psyched and I'm scared at the same time just because we've got so many people coming. I mean, we're sold out right now. Of all the tickets that we, were able to sell in advance. Right. And, like you said, it's still almost a month away. We're actually, I heard a rumor that there might be some tickets going on sale, this upcoming week because, we're working on adding a Friday night party, which, actually, I guess I can give you the exclusive. We're, hoping that Snoop Lion, I should say, is going to be appearing that Friday night at a venue right in the town of Denver. And, so we'll be releasing tickets for that.
Wow.
And, so that should be pretty interesting.
You heard it here first, a Friday night party at it'd be 419 in Denver with Snoop Lion. And, wow. That's amazing. Yeah,
and of course the Saturday night party. There's a bunch of parties in town, of course, because Denver is going to really truly be the epicenter of the cannabis world on 420, and It just so happens, that it falls on a Saturday this year, and so there's going to be a ton of stuff going on. I know there's a Method Man and Redman show. There's a sold out Slightly Stupid and Cypress Hill show at Red Rocks. I'm excited, but at the same time, we're all kind of, we've added a bunch of staff and volunteers and stuff in order to just deal with the larger amount of people that we were expecting.
Wow. And I'll give you an idea of how big 420 in Denver is going to be. I just got back from Atlanta, and we convinced Sharon Ravert, who's with the Georgia Moms for Marijuana and Peachtree Normal, we convinced her to catch a flight to Denver. Like, come up to Denver and, see the cup. It's the first cup. It's going to be great. And apparently she travels back and forth to Denver a lot to go skiing, right? So she goes, y'all, this is something else. I looked up on that schedule. Usually there's only AirTran flights. There's like 4 flights that'll leave out of Atlanta that'll go to Denver. On 419, there's 12 flights. They got 12 flights ready to go.
Yeah. This is the first time we've had a regular, a recreational smoking area so that anyone over 21 years of age is going to be able to legally smoke in that area. And, we've added Exto has been really great. The event center has added, the street. They're blocking off the 35th Street right there for that full block. And they've added a big parking lot, across from Exto that they own as part of our, recreating area. And we still have, of course, we have all the medicating area with all of the, the dispensaries and stuff that have, competing in the contest, and anyone who's a patient in Colorado will have access to that. But we've got people coming from all over the country who want to just participate in the event, and it's very exciting. We're just gearing up now for how to logistic wise. We're getting 3 or 4 times more people than we normally get at one of these events. So we just have to add more of everything.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you having us there as well. We're going to be there at the nonprofit booth area. We've been speaking with Dave Bienenstock on that, and it's just going to be so exciting to see so many people there celebrating legality and, not seeing the world come to an end when we do. So what kind of details do people need to know? I mean, it's sold out, I guess. I guess they can't get tickets or anything, but what should they need to know here about this upcoming Cup?
Well, basically just, there's probably going to be some issues with parking, so you may want to take public transportation if you can walk. I definitely would recommend walking. You can ride a bike and lock it up or something, but, wow, what should people know? I mean, if you're over 21 and you have a ticket, then you're welcome in the recreating area. Anyone with a medical card for Colorado can go into the medicating area, which should be interesting as well. If you're there for the first time, if you're at one of these events for the first time and you're doing dabs for the first time, which is the PHO and all that, I would just say, sit down, be very careful, be mindful of making sure you've had enough water in your system, stay hydrated, and just be careful because those things are pretty potent and
I'm glad you brought that up, Danny, because we were just, I was speaking with Diane Goldstein of LEAP. We were just out in Atlanta together, and we were both also at the Cup in San Bernardino. And there were a few incidences, maybe 4 that I saw, of, medical attention having to be brought to people who had passed out from doing the dabs. And, I kept counseling people. It's like, well, yeah, part of it's that, but part of it's, how hot is it? And part of it is how much have you had to drink or had to eat? Were you locking your knees while you're standing there? Did you take a big lung buster hit? I mean, I like to make the analogy that, doing dabs, think of it like the whiskey of pot, right? You wouldn't take a 16-ounce pint of whiskey and chug it. Right, so take it easy, folks.
Right.
Take it easy.
Yeah, especially first timers. That's typically who tends to. They're not expecting it to be quite as hard hitting. I'm kind of known for doing little baby dabs.
Sure.
Because I just can't handle that much smoke in my lungs at one time, and it's not even a question of tolerance or anything. I prefer it that way because that way I don't have a huge coughing fit, and I can actually enjoy that kind of uplifting kind of rush that it gives you.
Oh, sure.
Without the coughing fit, it inevitably would happen if I took a much bigger dab. So,
well, there's also the aspect of you got shit to do.
Exactly. Yeah. I have a very interesting seminar at this Cup. I'm going to have DJ Short, Adam from THC, Scott from Rare Business, and Kyle Cushman. So we've got quite a array of Cannabis Cup winning breeders to talk about growing, breeding, proper drying and curing, all those things that make cannabis, the highest level of cannabis.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of knowledge there, folks. You can pick up a lot of information from the booth that will be there. You'll see more innovative stuff than you've ever seen. Every time I go to one of these, Danny, there's some new gadget or thing that I go, oh, well, that's the shit for this one. That's awesome. I just love these events.
Yeah, and then because we have so many people coming to this particular event from other places, which obviously most of them and all of them probably have stricter laws. We really want people to understand it's a celebration, but it's also a gathering at which you're going to gather energy that you bring home to change the laws in your place. We can't all just continuously keep flooding into Denver or Seattle or any of this energy and legalization has to spread to Alabama, and it has to spread to Florida, and it has to spread to New York State. We got to bring it full circle so that everyone can enjoy the freedom that we are going to enjoy in Denver.
Absolutely. And I've often said that one of the difficulties in fighting for legalization is nobody knows what it looks like. So come to Denver, see what it looks like, and then now you can take that vision. You can come back and say, I have seen the promised land, and you can come back and show people the way, man. That's the way it's going to work. Hey, Danny, I wanted to talk to you about an interesting article I read. I think it was on Salon, but it was talking about the emerging market for low potency weed, and it referenced a Louis C.K. Routine where he says back in the day you used to be able to smoke a joint, now you smoke 2 puffs of this stuff and you're out. So I just wanted to ask your opinion on that, about how legalization is going to lead to a newer market for low potency yet well cultivated marijuana.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that I've heard for years and years, like people saying like, oh, I wish I could, but it's just too strong. And there's definitely a market for that out there, sort of a pot light kind of product that, that's not, going to be in the 25% THC level. And, that stuff is out there. It exists. And once we're able to, lab test everything, and, I think there will be a growing demand for, pot that's not quite as strong as what we typically think of as a cup winner. We test for potency, and, as connoisseurs, a lot of times we're looking for, the strongest because we smoke every day. But the people who are, weekly or monthly tokers, they just don't want something quite that potent. And so there definitely, it will be a market for that. For sure.
Are you looking for a smooth smoke that doesn't take your head off? Try new Pot Light, endorsed by Danny Danko. It's new Pot Light.
And I mean, I think the other thing is that, like, it's always right now in the face of prohibition. It's a grower is much more likely to grow an indica strain that finishes quickly and yields a lot of bud, but a lot of what people are looking for is basically just a nice sativa, something they can smoke without kind of wrecking their whole schedule for the day. And so, once we end marijuana prohibition, I think that there will be a lot more incentive for growers to grow those, sativa-dominant plants that, I wouldn't call it pot light. I would just say it's a different feeling that a lot of people aren't used to because they're so inundated with indica-dominant strains that they just assume that all pot kind of feels that way. But the truth of the matter is the sativa-dominant plants can be a really nice, uplifting high, and it can really, I hear from a lot of the old-timers and Vietnam veterans and stuff that when they smoke a real haze, it reminds them of that, the Vietnamese old kind of electric pot that they smoked back then. And I think it's not even necessarily a potency thing so much as I guess just a feeling that you get from it, the actual high.
Mm. I also leads me, I'm reading some over our chat room as well, and it kind of brings to mind heirloom strains, these older strains from back in the day that people used to talk about. And what are the chances we're going to see a resurgence of any of those, or have we just lost some of those genetics?
No, I mean, I do think that they're out there, and a lot of that stuff still exists. A lot of people who were the growers of the 60s, 70s, and 80s, they kept those strains alive. So there is a resurgence of those land races from all over Asia, from all over Southeast Asia, Africa. Those are really the building blocks for the breeders to create new material. So the more legal we make it, the more options we'll have as far as a lot of those strains. I mean, the problem is some of them take 15 weeks or 20 weeks to flower, as compared with an 8-week indica. And so the incentive isn't there for the grower unless it's for their head stash. So, in the absence of prohibition, that incentive, it's not quite as important to finish quickly. And those heirloom strains and those classic kind of old school strains are going to reemerge, the Panama Red and the Colombian Gold and all of that. It's already begun to happen.
Yeah. We want to see more of that, where the price point differential on weed isn't, who could smuggle the most. It's who could grow the best. And that's what I'm really looking forward to. That's going to be great. Hey, Danny, that's about, we're just about out of time here. But before we go, I always like to give you the last word as far as what's coming up for High Times in the magazine, or any political insights you might have.
Well, politically, we're really working hard in New York State to try to get medical marijuana here. So if people, sign the petitions and call their congresspeople, as far as High Times, along with our event on 420, we are also relaunching a new hightimes.com. We've revamped the website completely. There's going to be a whole bunch of really cool. We had the same people who did the Vice website work on our website. So it's really modern. It's going to have a lot of real cool interactive qualities. We're going to be doing a ton more posting. We're going to probably have 5 or 6 new posts a day on that website, to kind of make it somewhere you want to visit every single day. And we're really excited about that. That's launching 420. Obviously, the Denver event is going to be huge. After that, we're doing San Francisco in June, and then we're hoping to be back in Seattle in September. And that's how that's going. And the magazine's going great, and the events are just incredible.
Yes, and Amsterdam in November then?
Absolutely, yeah. We'll be back in Amsterdam for the 26th annual High Times Cannabis Cup in Amsterdam, and tickets are on sale for that as well at cannabiscup.com. And yeah, we're just chugging along. I mean, it looks like, we really have the momentum now. The pendulum really can't shift back towards more prohibition, and so now it's just a matter of, riding the wave and making sure that the right people are in charge of our destiny.
Right on, Danny. Hey, I will see you in Denver. It's going to be a good time, and we hope to see a whole lot of our listeners there as well. Check out Free Weed from Danny Danko, replaying here on 420 Radio, and also at hightimes.com/freeweed. Danny, thanks again, man. We'll see you next month.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.
All right, when we come back, we're in studio live with Terry Joyce, the Hollywood Hemptress. Stick around. It's the Rust Belt.